Welcome to D.A.P. We have an exclusive interview with these young ladies who are behind WSHOF. WSHOF meaning Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. That's right. It's going down in June 20th and the 21st. I have here Vanessa Powers and Janice
McLean.
McLead, right?
Yeah,
McLean.
Okay, no doubt. So I want to thank you guys for coming on this morning. It was so difficult to, come up with a time and a day that we can make this happen because I think it's very important that you guys know what the Wish Off is doing. And again, they're trying to get me back there in DC on the red carpet to DJ. So once again, welcome Janice McLeod and Vanessa Powers to that. Thank you so much once again. How do you guys feel this morning? How's everything?
well,
Good. We're
Good.
feeling good.
You feeling good?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
Vanessa Powers.
All right, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So I'm going to put y'all here. Let's see. Um, I don't know why the name's not coming up on your picture, but we had that going for a minute. Let me see. Here we
We
go.
did.
And nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not
Oh,
it.
that's
There you
hers.
go. There you go, right there. All right. So first, I want to say, um, I'm trying to find something real quick, you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's good right there. All right. First, I want to say, welcome, welcome to those who are here, those who are listening. Do me the favor and share the page. It's very important that you do that. I appreciate that. Like the page if you can. If you have any questions for the ladies of Wishoff, you can always call in or put your question on the comment board while while I'm asking them questions. All right. So, first question to you guys is, what inspired the founding of Women Songwriters Hall of Fame? Anyone can answer first.
good morning, everybody. This is Janice McLean Deloach. I'm the founder, CEO, and chairperson of Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. And David, I want to thank you so much for allowing me and Ness to be on here this morning. Vanessa Powers, who is our Director of Operations. This is a wonderful opportunity, and you just do an amazing job, and we're really glad to be here today. What inspired the founding of Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame was we used to host a radio show on Radio One Networks about small business entrepreneurship and minorities. And in doing the research and statistics for the music business, each week I would pick a topic or a subject. And this particular week I picked the music business. And I just looked at statistics for a lot of things dealing with the statistics. But one thing that kept constantly coming up in the research was how women did or did not do in terms of being in that industry.
Right.
It's really alarming to the point that women rank 7.9%. And I hate when people just say, well, 7.9% or 2. Like, what does that mean? But 7.9% out of 100 in the music industry as a whole for the last 40 plus years. Now, 7.9% out of 100, that right there should make people pause. So in doing that research, I wanted to know why women weren't doing well
Right.
in the music industry as a whole, and thought about it a little bit more and more and more and more, and what I could do about it. Because even my radio show has always been about solving problems for women, minorities, and the community as a whole. So that's how this came about.
Nice, nice. Okay. So, how does Wishoff go beyond recognition to actually empower women songwriters today?
Ness, did you want to jump in here?
Oh, sure. Uh, being a, I, although I volunteer and work for the organization, I'm also a songwriter, and so the impact for me personally has been the chance to have opportunities, for networking opportunities, for education opportunities. At the end of the day, the music industry is a business, and there's a lot of young women who've had the opportunity to perform maybe
Right.
and to
Right.
sing and to see other people, but they don't know the business side of it. And we want to kind of make sure that we can elongate the careers of women in the business, not just them being able to come out and have their shot and they do their thing. We want to kind of make sure that they can expand in other aspects of the of the industry as well, not just songwriting, not just performing, but also engineering
Nice.
and production and different
Nice.
things like that.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Let's see. Next question going to be: what impact do you hope WSHOF has in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. The impact that we are striving toward, our goal is to create a way to align women songwriters with important organizations and operations within music, and create a portal, if you will, to and not just for young women. I want to also be clear about that too.
Hmm.
Women are important, and that's true, but there are a lot of older women or veteran women who have been in
Right.
the music industry for a long time, and either never received recognition, uh,
True.
or have never really been given a true opportunity to really let the world understand the impact of the work and the music they've created and what their legacies really are. For instance, Naomi Judd came to the inaugural Women Songwriters Hall of Fame Award program. And
Really
one of the questions, yes, she did.
nice.
And so when I listened to all these reports of, oh, well, Naomi Judd died before she was able to receive her award, well, that's not true. And
Wow.
now, and please forgive me, and only people that are going to listen to this interview. So, Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame is setting a trend. And what I realize is we honored Naomi Judd 2021, the Country Music Hall of Fame honored her in 2022. It's great that they did it, but
Okay.
we also thought about that the year before. And one of the questions that I asked her was, why was it important for you to attend the inaugural award show for Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame? And I will never forget what her reply was. She said, I don't ever want another woman to have to go through what I went through to be in this industry. And I asked, I said, well, you have some notoriety, you have some fame, you have been around for a long time. I am just floored by the fact that here it is 40 years later. She's been in the industry for 40 years,
Wow. That's
working in country music. And
wow.
nobody thought to honor Naomi Judd.
Did she ever tell you or go into um, some of the things she went through in the industry?
Well, I will tell you, now hindsight is 2020. And she was so kind, and just so, it was really, when I found out what happened and she had kind of passed away, it was alarming, because that is not who we saw that night. She was kind and caring, and she told me, my sole purpose to be here is because I am making a statement. And because I asked her, I said, why was it important for you to be here? And her answer was that I don't want another woman to go through what I went through to be in this industry. Now, she didn't go into exactly what was going on or what
Yeah.
happened,
But you
but
know it was deep.
yeah, because some of the things that she was saying in an acceptance speech, we were all kind of, and at one point, and please forgive me, I'll make this quick. At one point, I thought, well, maybe we might have to turn her mic off, because some of the things that she was, and really, she was telling us a lot. She was
Right.
really telling us a lot without
Right.
really telling us. And then, real quick, another example of that is an Angie Stone who was there last year,
Yeah, rest
Last
in
2021.
peace.
year.
Yeah,
And it's unfortunate that both of these women are gone, but neither one of these women had really been supported by the music industry. And Angie Stone did the theme song to Girlfriends. She was wrote songs for D'Angelo. She was, worked with Alicia, everybody. And
yeah, man.
how do you not you miss these women like Angie Stone and Naomi Judd, who are pivotal women in the industry?
That's
So
deep. That's
isn't
deep.
it? So when you look at these kind of women who we imagine have reached the pinnacles of success in different ways, and even and here's the last one. Marilyn Bergman is another one. Marilyn
Mm.
Bergman was the president of ASCAP for 15 years and had never been honored for anything.
Wow.
But we honored her in 2022. When you asked about the legacy, I'm kind of giving you this background so you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
no
talking about.
doubt, no doubt.
So we honored Naomi Judd in 2021. In 2022, she's honored by the Country Music Association. We honor Angie Stone, who had never received an award of any kind the entire time she had been in the music industry. And then we honored Marilyn Bergman, who was the president of ASCAP. And now there is a scholarship called Marilyn Bergman Scholarship for Girls and Women in Music.
Wow.
So why do I
Because
because women songwriters has an impact on girls and women and the music industry as a whole. And I'll even see this. Junko Yagami is from Japan and came to the US and was honored by Women Songwriters Hall of Fame. So not only is it just women locally in America in the industry, but this year we've got Christina Shusho from Africa. We've got Asha Putli from India.
Nice.
We had Junko Yagami from Japan. So that is our legacy right there. We're putting people on notice that you guys have to do better. And you got to create scholarships for women. And when you see organizations like ASCAP and BMI step up now, creating, and I love these organizations, so I'm not taking anything from the work that they do.
Makes sense.
But it doesn't mean that they can't do better. All of us can. And that is the legacy of what Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame will be.
That's what's up, man. That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. It's amazing how it had to take, a company or organization like you guys, and it's not like you guys are a big company. How many is it of you guys that's running this company that seems like it's major, major, and really it is not taking away nothing away, but the way you guys do things on so much of a high level. How many is it of you that's running this organization?
100.
It's 100 of y'all.
Mine is 97.
Wow.
I'll let Vanessa speak to that one if you want.
Go ahead, Ness.
What? Oh, how many of it?
Yeah.
There are 4 prominent that are kind of full-time volunteers, and then there are a multitude of volunteers that come in all times of the year.
Right.
So we the core of it might be 4 um 4 beautiful women.
No doubt.
But we do have a lot of people who continuously support and root for us and step in when they can, because
Nice.
we need all the help that we could get. But yeah, there's 4 generally on the general operations piece.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Like I said, when I first came down to DJ for you guys last year, now prior to the time I came, prior to that year, I remember a lot of the things you guys was promoting. And as I was watching, I'm like, wow, this is bigger than what I thought it was. How I was, the way you guys, put it all together. I was like, this is deep. So when I got there myself, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? It was even more of a, a big wow for me. But yeah, to
We're
know that only,
sideways.
yeah, to know that only 4 people is rocking this, man. That's amazing, man. So shout out to you guys,
Yeah.
man, for blessing us, you guys making it happen like that. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
no doubt, no doubt. So now,
Boy, your jersey's really coming out, David. I hear it. I hear
my
that
what?
jersey. You're like, wow. I hear that jersey. Okay.
Yeah. No
I went
doubt.
sideways for a minute. I fixed my camera. Am I
Yeah,
good?
I think yeah,
Okay.
you just changed it. Yeah. So, Vanessa,
Oh yeah.
from your role as COO, how do you
Yeah.
ensure the day-to-day operations align with WSHOF's bigger mission?
Yes. Earlier, Jan said I was the director, but I've been promoted several times. So I am currently now the chief operating officer. Um, the way that I that the my goal is that one I've really paid attention to what Janice vision was for the organization. So when you think about and when you hear her speak
Yeah.
and the vision that she has for it, and also knowing my own story as well, I really kind of uh used the goal of the vision of the organization and also what the women that we're honoring. I really take that into consideration on everything that I do in terms of making sure that our operations kind of not just align with the vision of the organization, but align with what we see for the future of the women that we're honoring and the young women that we're bringing in, and the education pieces that we're doing, and the fundraising that we're doing.
Right.
It because it's just four of us,
Yeah.
we have to kind of, with very little resources, we still want to do things the best way that we can, um, and a huge amount of impact with very little. You
Right.
know, Janice will hear me say all the time, if we do one thing, that one thing has to do five things. What is this one
Right.
thing that we're doing
Right.
that so that this way we can kind of make sure that we're using our resources effectively? And because some of us don't have a lot, we have children, we have
Yeah.
school, we
I
have
don't know.
regular day jobs, we
Yeah.
have our hobbies, we have our families.
Right.
There's
Right.
a lot of bills to pull this event together. It's hard to do
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
lot of people. So
Yeah.
you can imagine
Yeah.
trying to pull something, and the event does not stop.
So
So
let me
basically,
So let me
right
ask you,
after, yeah,
yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry not to cut you off. So,
Yeah,
what are
no,
the
it's fine.
challenges? What are the challenges that both of you face running a nonprofit organization like this in the music space, and how have you navigated them personally? What have you gone through while trying to uphold, this organization?
Janice, you want to start that?
Wow, I'm trying to still get my whole head around that big, huge question that you just asked because there's a whole lot in there. There's a lot in
Yeah.
there. And
And that's why I punted it.
yeah, I see. I see that.
Pass
And
it off like
yeah,
a football player here.
nice bait and switch there. Okay, cool. Well, let me just first start by saying again, David, Supreme the Barber. I want to, David Adams podcast. I'm getting all your names in there. I want to make sure I got them all right. I want to
Def.
thank you for allowing us the time to be here and
No
really
doubt.
hear what we go through to create Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame's award show and songwriter mixer every year. There is a lot. It is financially uh,
Mm,
hurdles that we have to go through financially and incredible. We need a lot of money for this
no
thing.
doubt.
It was every year,
I
right?
feel you.
It is not any the financial. I can't. I'm sorry, it's early and I was out late, guys. I apologize. But the
No
amount of
worries.
money that it takes to create a program like this, it really takes all of us to do this, and it is so important for everybody to submit something to support something like Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame for so many reasons. I'm sure there are people that are listening to this show who have a mother, a sister, a daughter, an aunt, a neighbor, or grandmother who this was her dream. And this is why I spoke earlier about we don't just do programs that support younger women, but also older women. There are a lot of, this is one of the reasons why I started with Naomi Judd and Angie Stone. There are a lot of women who have songwriting and music dreams and creativity, or with songwriters or singers or performers who never had the opportunity to realize their dream, which is one of the reasons why when we started doing the inaugural Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame, I started with older women in the music industry intentionally, right? Just so they would get their just due. But also, I know they have a base that supports a change like this.
Right.
The other people don't really understand why Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame is important for everyone. So even in other industries, I see the impact that we have. But this is, you need a lot of money to do Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. And the reason is because we don't do a program that just is like, oh, here you go, it's just a party. We do
Right.
a program that supports upcoming songwriters and older women who are songwriters who never realized their dream. We do scholarships to enable girls and women to be able to attend university. We do webinars because we want to educate women and other people. There are men that sit in these workshops too. We have men that are members. Now they
Nice.
may not be able to perform because obviously we're a women's songwriting organization, but they get member perks and member discounts, and they can attend the award show to get tickets for that. We have other people that we are working with, which is back to your original question, to create partnerships that will allow us to have doors that are always open. So if you come into, like, for instance, this year we have Sony Music Publishing attending.
Nice.
We have somebody from BMI attending.
Nice.
Sirius XM Radio is going to be on the red carpet doing interviews. We have Iconics Radio, which is founded by a minority. And they are a lot like we are. They're small, but we pack a really mighty punch to the point where we've got other people watching these four women with very little support financially and physically do what we're doing. And you've been there.
Yeah,
and
man.
what I challenge all the people listening to do right now is to step out on faith. Make a donation to support David to come. Make a donation to support women's songwriters. Sign up and get a membership. Be somebody that will benefit from being at our programs and at our award show, even if it's just learning something every day, like mental health workshops that we do, financial literacy and education that's open to everybody that we do. But we pack a mighty punch, and the purpose is to create a portal that young girls, and I'm not even we already know what today's news sounds like, so I'm not going to go into that. But women should be able to be in the industry, any industry, whether it's music or songwriting or television or choreography or radio as a broadcast. Women should have the opportunity to just be in the industry, do what it is they set out to do, and be supported. And that is the goal, one of our goals.
No doubt.
Be that open door portal to success.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Ness, you want to elaborate on that even more?
Yeah, I remember coming to the award show myself, and I was at a crossroads of whether or not I wanted to continue in the industry, because it was a hard industry to be in. I couldn't find my footing. At one point I was in the industry working hard, and when I stopped working in it and tried to come back to it, I had a hard time finding my reason, my love for it, finding my footing. And what happened was that somebody invited me to Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame in 22. And when I went to the award show, one of the inductees who I'd never heard of, Rosemarie McCoy, had worked with some of the top artists of her time, and she was an independent songwriter, independent artist. She was a Black woman at a time when it was unheard of.
Right.
She was just a powerhouse. And I came to this award show and heard about this woman who, for some reason, my whole music journey kind of mirrored. You know what I'm saying? And I knew at that moment, I was like, if nothing else happens, I'm definitely going to volunteer to see if I can help others, because I have nieces and nephews, I have cousins that had the same artistic musical ability, and I wanted them to be able to have that same gift. But when I knew when I came and sat in that audience, tears had came down in my, from my eyes, because I felt like God was talking to me saying, do not quit. Don't give up. There's somebody out there that wants to see you succeed. don't forget to pay it forward. And so that's why I'm here to this very day. You know
That's
what I'm saying? This is why I try so hard to this very day to ask for help, to ask for donations, because when I needed help at that time, I was sat down in that audience
facts.
because my help I needed was the questions of, should I be doing this? Why am I doing this? I feel like I'm not going to get past my own hurdles. And when I sat in that audience, the networking, I was shaking hands with
Mm,
people. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like in the room. You
right,
know what I'm saying? And then when we realized that, and it was a tough year for her that year, because
right,
even Janice had her own crossroads. And when I walked up to her, I was like, please don't quit.
right.
Please, whatever you do, I will help out any way I can. Do
That's
not
what's up.
quit.
That's
So
what's
that's why this is important. This is why you see my face. This is why I speak up, because right now I'm still doing music. I'm working internationally. I'm still networking. I still have the opportunities. I'm still paying it forward. This is why it's important. This is
no doubt.
why I'm here, and I'm so glad that, again, thank you so much for
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
participating, because also too, the reason why we want you as opposed to just any DJ
Right.
is because your community outreach, you
Oh,
do
thank
the
you.
exact same thing, and it's
Right.
recognized, and we are grateful for the fact that you speak about, hey, let's help these kids out, let's make
Yeah,
sure that our children can have a future, given the economics going on today,
no doubt.
the politics.
Yeah,
Let's still be able to celebrate each other and help each other out. So
that's
that's
what it's about. That's what it's about. Thank you, man. Great answers, both of you, man. Yeah, but I appreciate you guys, wanting me to be there to rock out for y'all this year.
And
Definitely.
you're gonna have a blast this year.
Yep.
This is a 5 year
it's a good year.
anniversary,
Yeah,
and it's
no
gonna be
doubt.
a good year. We're having people doing documentaries in the room. And at the end of the day, can I just say,
Right.
we give a really good show.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
real
Whether
talk.
you a songwriter or not, if you just wanted to buy tickets to come and sit in the award show and have dinner, and you don't know who you're going to bump into, but we still have a really good show, because at the end of the day, these are all performers, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
Yeah.
songwriters, but a lot of them are
yep.
performers. And I mean, some of these people, it's incredible to
Nice.
watch them. And it's incredible to watch you. Like,
No
I
doubt.
started vibing because you were vibing. You know
No
what I
doubt. Real
mean? Like,
talk.
you
Real
really
talk.
Yeah.
made me want to, like,
No
okay.
doubt.
The 22 was also a hard year, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
I went to the social mixer, and it was the DJ that
yeah.
saved my life. Now I know why they wrote that
No
song.
doubt. Much love. Much
Yeah.
love.
Oh, and listen, I probably should say, so uh Supreme, you're there to DJ at the social mixer, starting with the social mixer, which is happening on Friday the
Right.
20th. And that is also a songwriting contest.
Oh,
We
okay.
literally have songwriters who, believe it or not, some of our inductees are going to be in the room,
No doubt.
literally in the room. The prizes are usually astronomical. I wish I could get my hands on some, but I can't.
No doubt.
So, but the prizes for these songwriters is unbelievable. We had Omega Studios give studio time, which is
Right.
a huge,
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
recording studio here in Maryland.
Right.
There was guitars signed by the
Mm,
inductees. There
yeah.
was so much. And then also too, the songwriter who won last year,
Right.
she's actually
Oh,
going
yeah.
to
She's hosting.
host
Yeah. Yeah.
this year.
No doubt.
Yeah, she's
Exactly.
hosting. She
Yeah.
was an ambassador, so she was able to do. We were able to give her the opportunity to be in the major Fourth of July parade
Right.
right there in DC. She was on the float singing her song that she wrote herself. There was a lot of opportunities for her. We actually did something for Children's Hospital.
No doubt.
We do a lot of community outreach. It's not just about helping songwriters and education. When people donate, they're also donating to children who we support, like foster children. We have a collaboration with Comfort Cases this year,
Nice.
where these kids who don't have their families anymore, we want to make sure that they're supported. It does reach beyond
Yeah.
just the songwriting, and we're very serious about helping out in our community, but it takes finances, not
Of
just to
course.
do the event, but for us to continue to do the work that makes you want to come to these events.
Right.
When we go out and reach for these kids who and it's every children, I mean all children, children
Hmm.
with disabilities, children
Right.
that need instruments. They want to play, but they can't afford them. There's a lot of things we're doing. We're also doing something where you bring in your instrument this year.
Hmm.
It's the first time you could bring and donate an instrument. It could be broken. We
Nice.
actually are doing a collaboration with a company. I can't, Janice will tell you the name of it,
Prophecy.
but
Yeah, prophecy
huh?
guitars.
Was it?
Prophecy
Prophecy
guitars.
Guitars. What
Okay.
they'll do is that if you donate a broken instrument, they'll fix it so that some other child can pick up that instrument and
No doubt.
use the love that you did to it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
keep the love going for it. You know
No
what I'm
doubt.
saying?
No
So
doubt.
there's a lot going on. So yeah,
So,
definitely if
so how
yeah.
can the public, especially inspiring songwriters, get involved or support the organization?
So if people can sign up on for our songwriting contest, and it's 18 and up. Uh,
Hmm.
Actually, I'm sorry, it's 15 and up when
Hmm.
you're a parent. It used to be 18 and up, but we realized that Taylor Swift started songwriting when she was 15 years old.
Right.
Parental consent, right? So it's $95 to register and perform in the songwriting contest, but you also get to stay for the mixer as well and network. And Vanessa mentioned before, we have some of the inductees who will be in the room networking there, which is unusual because sometimes they don't come to other things that happen before they're
Mhm.
awarded, the next
Right.
night. But they wanted to see who's songwriting and what new songwriters are out there because they're still writing, and a lot of them have record deals already in place that they've not done anything with. Look at all the women that you see now starting to come out and I'm sorry, come out now. And I just saw something the other day and I
Mhm.
know it sounds strange to keep saying country music,
Yeah.
but I was just looking at country music and they had Reba McEntire, um,
Okay.
Miranda Lambert, and
Hmm.
Lainey Wilson talking about a new song that was written called Trailblazer. And they're paying homage to the older women like Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn, who, by the way, we honored, right?
Right.
And that's what I mean by you can even see, I feel, the effect that we're having on music as a whole, because I've never seen as many women and girls being honored or supported in music the way we are now. But we have the opportunity for you to come out into the songwriting contest, and also
Right.
it's the award show, which again will allow you networking, but it's also a really good show. And we use the money from the tickets to do those kinds of things. And I'm sorry, I had an interesting night last night, everybody. So if I
Yeah.
forget what the question is, and I go in a different
That's all right.
direction.
That's all
But
right.
I'm doing well. So, did I
So
answer what your question
you
was?
did, you did, you did. Yeah, you did. What's one myth about women songwriters um, that WSHOF helps to dispel? One of the myths about women songwriting that WSHOF helps dispel.
Wow, me and Vanessa both had a moment of silence. That rarely happens.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I will say one of the myths is that we are um that the stories that are being told and when Janice says there's only 7% of the women that have, I think that people assume that the number is higher. It's
Wow.
actually lower.
Really?
It's way lower than what people expect when you talk about women being honored for what they've done. Some of them, you'd be surprised how many women have written things
Right.
and their name isn't even on the credits.
Really?
They really,
Yes.
really.
Wow. And
So
never
I think
was on the credits for years.
never was on the credits. They have the story. They can tell you the story. I did that. And
Wow.
they'll sit there and they'll tell you, yeah, I wrote that. They'll tell you how they did it, who the people were that called them to do it.
Right.
But they won't never see a dime. They won't never see their credits. You won't never see their name. You will never know it unless it comes out of their own mouths because it was just taken from them. You know,
So both of you been in the industry yourself and dealing with music and writing. Am I right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So have you guys experienced any of that, or should I say, ran into many that you know personally that experienced this?
I
Absolutely.
yeah, and
Go ahead, Janice.
I can tell you back to your. Go ahead if you want to.
No, 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 you're fine.
So I can tell you back to your first question. What um, you said? I'm sorry. Your question was about women.
Yeah, basically, what I was saying was, um, women go through a lot of different things, like y'all mentioned about, like Vanessa mentioned regarding writing things and um, their name never on the credits. They never get no type of recognition as far as the songs they have written, things of that nature.
Well,
Have y'all experienced that, and do you know other people personally yourself experience the same?
so I have experienced that. So I started out. Uh, I played in a band. I played the clarinet. I played the flute. I've been in, the middle school band, the high school band. I played in college. And
Hmm.
initially, I thought I was going to set out to New York to be a songwriter and a singer, which is really what I wanted to do. The first season of The Wire, I had a song on there called "Addicted." That I wrote for the TV show The Wire, which is really funny because up until that point, I had written gospel music. So to write a song about drug addiction was kind of like the opposite of who I am as a person. But, at the time, I was trying to figure out how to get in the industry and get paid. And what I will tell you is, on numerous occasions, I've had men approach me. Oh, well, I can help you get studio. And I'm just going to really lay it out here today. This is really the first time I've ever shared the story like this.
Wow.
Um, and I've even had, owners of the studio. I mean, crazy things. So that's why when you hear somebody like Naomi Judd, and I'm going back to
You
that,
have the owners of the studio. What? It seemed like you just
sexually.
okay. Keep it real. Yeah, no doubt.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And actually, that's one of the reasons why I stopped writing music. And
Wow.
because it just seemed like, I even have my own story about the song. Well, I won't go into who the artist is, but anyway, there are so many times that I know that women have done things that they have not been
Of
acknowledged.
course.
And we have a inductee this year.
Mhm.
I won't say who it is, who is being honored this year and has been in the industry for 50 years. And 50 is a huge number for a lot of reasons,
Yeah.
which I won't explain. But if you can see the correlation of things that happened in the 50 years for men, that you see that happen for
Yeah.
women in that same time. And
Right.
this lady wrote on huge movies that you know. I mean, you know them. Everybody knows them. Her name is nowhere on the soundtrack.
That's deep.
And and some of them she got paid for and some of them she didn't. But we are working so hard to do this, and I see it happening to create
Right.
a way for women to stay. Again, why this is so important, because this is more than just women getting together writing songs. This is women creating a way for women to unite together in the music industry and stand strong together. When you see the kind of women that come to our award show, my question is always, why do you think you want to be here? When you have people
Mm.
like Barbara Streisand donate items so that we can raise money through auction, so we have money to be able to stand, and they
Wow.
can very easily just write checks, all of them. Why do you have names like Gloria Estefan and Barbara
Come
Streisand
on.
and Vanessa and Valerie
And
Simpson
me.
and Roberta Flack and Vanessa Powers?
No doubt.
I mean, these are not everyday women. These are
Right.
huge names. Why
Yeah.
would these kind of women want to support Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame? Why do they do it? Why
Right.
do people from different countries come in? Because they all have these stories.
That's true.
I'm
That's
sure
true.
all of them have a story where they've been hit on or their music has been stolen from them. And a lot
Wow.
of it, and I have to say, a lot of it is the women's fault too. And let me tell you why.
Mhm.
Because we don't understand what we're signing. We don't
Right.
understand understand what we're reading, and because we don't know the business. And the
Right.
people that continue to keep taking that money, why do you think you keep hearing the same songs for the last 50 years that you've been listening to for 50 years? You know why?
Right.
Because those people control the copyrights and the publishing on the same songs that you keep hearing. Backstreet Boys hasn't written a song in over 30 years. Why are we still hearing it played on the radio today?
Thanks.
There's one female group that you know from back then to now who's still getting played on the radio daily. And who's getting that money? I guarantee you it's not a woman. So
Yeah, right.
it's really more important than people know. It's not just about people dressing up in their nice tuxedos. By the way, our event is black tie, everybody, if y'all come.
No
And
doubt.
it's not
Plug.
dressing up in black tie and beautiful dresses and coming and sitting and listening to a song. Do you know how much went into listening to that one song, David, that you're playing? Somebody had to pay for music lessons. Somebody had to shuttle somebody back and forth to go take those music lessons. The neighbors had to listen to you sing and play terribly for many years. Your
Yeah.
parents and your family had to put up with financing you, shuttling you back and forth, all for what? So that you can get in an industry and have
That's
somebody
deep.
steal your music and receive nothing.
Yeah, man, that's deep.
And
Let me
it's
let me
women.
ask you
Why
another
is that
question.
fair?
Let me ask you another question. Are there any educational programs, mentorships, or workshops that WSHOF provides or plans to introduce?
Yes. Yes. We
Okay.
had one last year called, what was the panel called that they did at the uh, award show last year?
Last year we actually had our webinar and panel done at the award show. And what they talked about was
Mm,
sync licensing, publishing, how to kind of navigate those waters. It was a very well done,
Good.
well educated. Well,
mm,
it was so good. I'm not speaking well because it is early and I don't drink coffee. But yeah, it was a type of education that if you are in the business, it is the one you wanted to be at
mm.
without question. And we are in the process now of getting that put up so that this way we can have it as a video offer to our members
Nice.
once we get it.
And
Yep.
then we did one about just recently where we had women songwriters, and this one was actually for young women songwriters.
Okay.
They talked about their experiences and what they were lacking, because also the problem is we don't know what issues you're facing if you don't tell us where we need to work.
Right.
In addition, we partnered with USC, the University
Mhm.
of Southern California and Annenberg Institute. As a matter of fact, this year, one of the inductees is Dr. Stacey L. Smith, who has
Mm.
commissioned a study over the last 5 to 6 years of
Okay.
women and girls in the music industry specifically.
Nice.
And that is one of the reasons how women songwriters, you asked me initially how Women Songwriters Hall of Fame became.
Yeah.
It partly, and part of it was based on the study from USC Annenberg talking
Wow.
about inclusion for girls and women in music, and it was alarming. And
Nice.
so USC is now creating, we're going to do a partnership where they're going to continue to study how girls and women in music, but they also do other industries too. But we're going to host a panel in California in December or January, and it will be on things that we don't know, because we're looking at, oh, how many women are in songwriting? But you're saying, well, I'm not in songwriting because I wasn't allowed to go through this door. So the issue is not being in songwriting. The issue is, why can't we get that door open, and who's blocking the gate so you can't get in that room?
That's deep.
So instead of
That's
us
deep.
having to try to figure out how to get into their rooms, Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame decided to bring the rooms to us.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep.
For the
What do you
girls.
say? What do you say to the young girls who's writing right now, and they just want to stay in the background and not come to the forefront because of situations like this? They're writing and they're kind of timid. They're they feel like nobody really sees them. They're just being used as writers. What do you say to those young ladies?
Well, I think so again, you don't have to be in the forefront.
Right.
Some people are very comfortable
Mhm.
being in the back, which, and I will say, it affords you certain privacy you get privacy that way. You're
Got it.
still making money if the deal is structured right and
That's
you're
right. Right.
correctly, right? Uh,
Hmm.
so that is important. But also you have uh, girls like SZA who's writing incredible writer.
Yeah.
You have Esther Dean, an incredible writer. You have Candy Burris, incredible songwriters, and
Right.
they also made a lot of money
Yeah.
working in the background because they had good attorneys and they understood the process.
That's the key.
So it is fine to remain in the back if that's what you want. But if you decide you want to move to the forefront, which is actually what SZA is doing now, um, as long as you have the right resources to be able to help you do that,
Hmm.
that's incredible. And I think some of those girls remain in the background because they're not sure of
Hmm.
how to move to the next level. And the
Right.
people that they're working with also understand that they don't understand how to move to the next level. And that's how they keep winning. That's
Got
why we
it.
keep hearing the same songs over and the same people. We're looking at the same people getting awards who've been getting awards for the last 30 years. Why?
Yeah.
Because they are being silenced by these, and there are organizations that have been around for a long time.
Hmm.
I don't know many that are pushing new songwriters, females, to the forefront, except for women
Right.
songwriters. We are the
Right.
only songwriting organization for girls and women in music in the industry that I know of right now.
And how long y'all been in operation business right now?
5 years. This is our
5
5 year
years.
anniversary.
Okay. Okay.
Now I could be
Nice.
wrong about some of those facts, so double check them. But I don't think so.
No doubt. That's what's up. So, what would you say? What would you want to leave the young ladies? Again, what would you want to say to the young ladies that's coming up in the industry? What would you want to leave them with?
Vanessa, if we want to go
Oh,
first.
um, I would say at the time when I was young, mentorship was important. It's
Mm,
and I was one of the lucky ones who had great mentorship. The people that I uh, bumped into along the way just filled me with knowledge and filled me with uh with a campus, a compass to be
hmm.
able to navigate those shark infested waters, if that makes
Word.
any sense.
That makes sense.
So um I do know that if it's not Women Songwriters Hall of Fame, something comparable, and I don't know what that is
Hmm.
because we are pretty unique, but if uh but an organization like ours is meant to do just that. Find mentorship, start small. If you can't be a member, right off, because some people, young girls don't have a lot of money, they don't know how
Right.
to go about things. Start off by following us,
Right.
subscribe, to the
Yep.
website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to, we're on TikTok, follow us on social media, give us a like. That helps us as well, because we reach out to these um, other organizations for help and for support, and they want to know
Right.
who is following us that needs this help.
Right.
So if being a member does have its perks. We are very hands-on with our members. We try very hard to push them and give them opportunities to learn to be better, to learn their craft, not just on the music side, but on the business side.
No doubt.
Um, we're here. We're here to make sure that they don't have to do what our inductees are telling
Right.
us that they had to go through.
So when is the event coming up? What's the dates for June? And give them the website real quick that they can go to join. Give them the website where they can, well, actually, I'm trying to get there, y'all. So they actually put something together, sponsorship and donations. They put a barcode together and everything for myself to get there. So how can they get in touch with you guys? How
Y-
can they,
Well, yeah. So we our website address is www.wishof.org. That's spelled WSHOF. We kind of got the acronym going because at first you had to type in the whole thing. So now
Right.
you don't. It's easy. Just
Yeah.
WSHOF.org. Again, we're on all the major the social media platforms. Um, if there's any questions about donations or anything like that, you can reach us at info at womensongwritershallofame.org. Um, Definitely sponsor. We have our tickets up. We're on Eventbrite. The dates
Mhm.
are June the 20th and June 21st. That's a Friday and a Saturday. We lovingly call it Wish Off Weekend because we find that people that are coming for the 2 days kind of make it a vacation. They haven't been to the DC area. DC is gorgeous during that time of the year. Um, Everyone will be in the room. There's a dinner. We have different levels of tickets. If you want to just come to the award show, if you want to just experience the social mixer, if you want to come and be a songwriter, if you've written a song that you want somebody to hear for the first time, come definitely take part in it. It's an amazing thing. There's a lot of
Yeah.
vendors. It'll be shopping. It's everything that um anybody at any stage of their music career would be proud to attend.
No doubt.
It's a good
No
show.
doubt. Any
And
last words from you, Miss Janice?
yeah, and it's also family oriented, and also
No doubt.
there's going to be celebrities there too, whether you
Name them.
know
Name
them or
the
not.
celebrities. Who the celebrities gonna be there?
They're going to be there. We're going to have Geneva Magnus. We're going to
Nice.
have oh my gosh, Vicky
Melba
Peterson.
Moore.
Melba Moore. Okay.
Melba Moore is performing. Regina Bell, Brenda Russell, Vicky
Nice.
Peterson from the Bangles, um, Asha Putley from India, Christina Shusho from Africa.
Hmm.
And just a lot of us. We're going to be there. We're fun. I'm definitely a party girl, so we're
No
going to have a good time.
doubt. No
And
doubt.
but we need people to understand. You asked, what do I want to leave people with? Well, we're not leaving. We're
I
not
know
going
that's right.
away. We're going to be around for another 20 years. I'm not leaving the room. We're going
I
to
know
stay in
that's
that
right.
room and we're going to continue to work. And I also want for my men listening and my male counterparts to understand your sister, your mother, your daughters, your girlfriends, all the women in your neighborhood, all the women at the church, they all had a dream too.
Word.
So
That's
without
right.
your support financially and attending and showing up, we know we don't hate men now. Let me just be clear about
No
that.
doubt.
We love men.
That's what's up.
Okay. I'm telling speaking for myself, right? But and I hope, and so we don't this is not about male bashing. This is about women inclusion. And we want men to understand. And you guys help us. Look at you. There's you there, David. And
No
so
doubt.
we have been
Yeah.
soldiers and supporters too. And we need you guys to understand that we still need your support, even though this is a women led and about women organization. So please donate, donate,
No
donate. If
doubt.
you got $5, you got $20. If you got 5,000, we'll take
Right.
that too. But the little things help us continue to do the big things. And we cannot do this or continue to move forward without everybody's support, even if you don't think you need it, even if you're not in music, even if you're not a songwriter. We need to still show up. And let me just leave you with this one thought.
Go
Look
ahead.
at the women and the diversity on this site,
Yes.
which is also a huge problem for women in a lot of industries.
Mm.
Being a minority and being a woman. And right now in this country, it is more important. It's always important to support girls and women, but it is really so important right now to support girls and women because we're in your lives every day. And this is where we choose to spend our time and our hobby and our interests, right? And
Right.
we need that for us. And it's okay to support those women because this is good for us. And when we're happy and it's good for us, it's good for everybody else.
No
Community.
doubt. No doubt. Any last words from you, Vanessa?
Um, I think Janice summed it up
Sum it up. Hey
amazingly.
man, y'all
But
go
I will
ahead.
say that
Yeah.
I am proud to be a member. I am also performing. I'm excited about that because I am a songwriter and Janice was like, this is for all of us to be able to shine, to be able to do something. And she was like, do you want to perform this year? This is our 5th year. Let's go big. We
Right.
trying to go big with
No
it. We
doubt.
are
No doubt.
excited.
That's what's up.
And yeah, and I'm more excited about everybody else. So
That's
it's you know, I'm excited for you. I am. I'm excited for the inductees because we see their faces every time
yeah,
they come and they walk across that stage and they get that award. I was there with Angie Stone, and even afterwards, she was still giving the nuggets of everything
yeah,
that she had to
man.
go
Rest
through
in peace.
just to walk across that stage. You
Yeah,
know, so it was such a blessing to be able to give her that, to give her
hmm,
that moment, to be a part of that moment, to
right.
be a part of all these women's lives at this particular juncture, because they do talk about it. They talk freely about everything that they had to go through. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yes, please, please, please donate so that we can
Yeah.
kind of continue. Any amount will help. You
So,
know,
guys, I
nobody's
will
scared
definitely
about a
have the
dollar.
link up. Yep, I will have the link up on this live, so you can go ahead and donate. The link will be there. I
Yes.
just haven't had a time to put it up today with so much going on. But I thank you guys for chiming in,
Thank
and
you.
thank you, Vanessa and Janice, for coming on this morning. I know it was hard to get you guys here, but you stuck it out. You made it happen. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the 20th of next month, the 20th and 21st. I will be
Yes.
rocking the one and twos that day, so make sure
Yes.
you donate to help sponsor me, help them, help me
Please,
to be
please.
there for 2 days. All right, much love and respect. Thank you for coming to DAP to watch the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. Much love and respect. Thank you guys. Much love. Talk to you soon.
Women are rare in the music industry. Less than a quarter of the artists on the chart in 2021 were women. They only make up 12.7% of songwriters. The Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame's mission is to honor women whose work represents the heritage and legacy of the world's music songbook. It not only celebrates established women songwriters but serves as a resource for developing new songwriting talent through workshops, showcases, discovery, and scholarship. Sign up and be a partner, sponsor, or member of the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame so we can continue to improve the music industry for women. Join us today at www.womensongwritershalloffame.org.